Wednesday Night Yin. Look, I have my new family sweatshirt. If you ordered one, they're here. So I'm wearing mine tonight. Right. If you didn't order one, you like them. If enough people like them, we'll order another set. But I want everybody to lay on their back as we start out tonight. Start to bring your focus to your breath, right? It's yin. So you don't have to control your breath. But you do want to notice it, right? You want to let it set the rhythm. But you want to be able to fall into the rhythm that it's setting for you. So bring that focus to your breath. In yin, we want to be comfortable with staying still. Right now, you're just laying on your back, so you're in a pose that's comfortable to you. Later on, we're going to put our body in some other poses that maybe aren't as comfortable, that produce some more sensation. But the work in yin is to train your body, train your mind, your body to stay still and your mind to stay quiet through all of that, through whatever sensation is coming at you. So you can practice that now just by letting your breath take over, letting it push all the other distractions to the background. You're just focused on your mat, your practice. You're here and present to your mat, your practice. start moving here. Just take your knees and hug them into your chest. Let's just rock from side to side a couple times. Round those knees in, holding your spine up a little bit. And let your arms go out long, like wings in T position. Drop your knees over to the right. Your chin, your gaze to the left. Just take 2 or 3 breaths right here. We're not going to hold here for a long time right now. We will later. And then pull your knees back up to center. Now drop them over to the left and look to the right. That right shoulder anchored. And then inhale, bring your knees back up to center here. Right. Now, you take your hands to the crease of your knees. We're going to rock all the way up. Right, so come up to seated. And then what I want you to do here is flip around and come to your belly. All right, so you're going to come onto your belly. As you come onto your belly, what you want, right, is to fold your arms in front of you. And then let your head come to your top wrist. Right? So it doesn't matter which arm's on top, right? So it looks like this. If you want to, you can take one ear or the other to your forearms and look the other way. And just whatever's comfortable. We're going to take a couple minutes right here. I might lift my head up like this occasionally and talk, right? Because I don't want to be talking into the floor. I want you all to hear me. But you should not lift your head up. You should just be here, flat on your belly, with your head tucked in. I've talked to you before about how when we lay on our belly, it gives our body that physiological signal that you're in a safe place and that your body is allowed to to relax, right? We have all our visceral organs right there in our abdominal area. That's why when we feel threatened, right, your first instinct is to put your hands over your stomach, right, to protect that soft, vulnerable part of you. When you're lying on your belly and your belly presses into that hard mat, hard floor, right? It makes it feel protected. The only thing you're exposing is that bony spine. Okay, and that's how your body's able to get the signal that it's okay, you can relax. Let everything go. Withdraw a little bit from your senses. That's what we're trying to do here. From here, what we're going to do next, right? You're going to bend into your right knee. Now, you don't want your right foot to go up in the air, right? You're going to bend into your right knee, move my arm out of the way, so that you start to bring your knee up, right? And you're trying to bring your knee up as close as you can to your right elbow, right? And then from there, take your left ear and put it on your hand so you're looking to the right, right? So your right knee is bent, it's coming up towards your elbow. It doesn't have to touch your elbow, although if it does, that's great, right? And you're looking to the right. If you're looking for a little more intensity here, right, in your neck, with a twist. Then you can take that right ear to your hands and look to the left, look away from your knee. Right? It's up to you. Whatever feels better here. Let's see how I'm bringing that right knee in. All right, now from here, go ahead and slide that right leg down. Right, and now you're going to switch. You're going to do that same thing on the other side. So you're bending your left knee. Don't lift your foot up into the air. Right, just bend your left knee. Drag it up as much as you can towards that left elbow. And then take your right ear to the mat. Look to the left. Unless you were looking opposite last time, then do that again. Just a few more breaths here. All right, now let that left leg go all the way back down. And then from here, what we're gonna do, right? We're gonna come up on your elbows. Bend your elbows back in. Right, so you're pulling them towards your chest. You want your shoulders right over your elbows, your palms flat on the ground. So now we're here in this Sphinx pose. Again, we're gonna stay here a couple minutes. Now you're starting to open up your back a little bit. Now, as you're in Sphinx, right, if you need more sensation in your back, and maybe you want to take it up to seal. If that's what you're feeling tonight, go for it, right? That's where you straighten your arms. And now I'm just pushing my palms flat into the mat. Now seal, not great for me. Feels like a little too much sensation in my back, right? So I like to keep it in Sphinx, but my body's not your body, so you do what feels good to you. If it's too much in Sphinx and your back is already screaming at you and you're like, I cannot stay here for 2 minutes, then I want you to slide your elbows a little bit more forward. Let them come in front of your shoulders, let a little bit more of your belly come to the mat, and do your Sphinx like that, right? So find a place that's comfortable to you where you're gonna be able to hang out for 2 or 3 minutes. Right, but you do want to be feeling a little bit of sensation, right? Like I talked about at the beginning, when we do our yin, we want to be able to stay still, to keep the mind quiet through whatever sensation is coming at us. Now from here, pull your hands back in towards your chest. Let your forehead come to the mat. And now just push yourself up, right? Come up on your knees and let yourself push all the way back into a child's pose. Hips come over the heels and arms reach out long. Make this a little more relaxed. Let your elbows come to the ground if that feels good. Your hips don't have to be all the way to your heels. If it would feel better to sweep your hands back behind you, reach toward your heels, passive child's pose, you can do that. Find your spot here. We're just going to stay here for a minute or so. Let our back release now, right? Because we were in that Sphinx for so long. Our hips release. And those little half frogs we did. Everything releases in child's pose. That's what we want here. from your child's pose. Just meet me in tabletop, right? So tabletop is that hands and knees pose. We get the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. Your hands are shoulder width distance apart, your knees are hip width distance apart. We're gonna take a couple cat-cows here. Wake up the spine, right? So let your stomach drop, right? Lift your chin to the sky, tuck your tailbone under. That's your cat. And then from there, you're gonna tuck your chin to your chest. Round out your back, hollow out your armpits. That's your cat. So keep moving here. Right, we come to the cow. We come to the cat. When we do this in a vinyasa class, right, I always tell you, inhale to cow, exhale to cat. And you can do that here if that feels natural to you. But what I really want in yin is for your breath to guide you. Right? So just let your breath set the pace. Your breath tell you how fast or how slow to go. Let your body tell you when it wants to inhale and exhale. Do a couple more rounds here. And then eventually, we're going to meet back here in neutral tabletop. All right, so now as we come to neutral tabletop, take your right hand, lift it up to the sky, right? So just open it up towards the right side of the room. And then as you exhale, you're going to come to a thread the needle. Let that right arm go all the way underneath your left armpit. Let your right shoulder come to the mat. Take the right side of your head to the mat so you're looking to the left. And then you can do what you want with your left hand, right? Maybe it reaches forward towards the front of the room. That feels good. Go for it. You're opening up your left chest. Maybe you want to take that left hand and wrap it around behind your back. Whatever feels right to your body. Now, if you want to step out with that left foot, if you're used to doing that, you can. Right, that looks like this, where you take that left leg, step it all the way out. Right, either so that your heel is on the ground and your toes are pointed towards the front of the room, or so that your toes are pointed towards your right fingertips or left toes. Right, you can do that. You don't have to. Right, I want you to make sure you don't make this pose too yang. Right, because this is yin. So it shouldn't feel like a lot of effort. If it makes it feel better to step that foot out, and that feels like it's enhancing your pose, enhancing your stretch, then do that. If it feels like it's making you have to work really hard, it's starting to affect your breath, trying to hold the pose, right? Then don't do it. We'll stay here another minute or so, then we're going to do the other side. Now, when you're ready here, you're going to take your left hand back by your face wherever it wants. If you step your left foot out, step it in now. Push in with that left hand. Lift back up. Open up your right arm to the right side of the room again, right? Just to open it back up. Then drop it back into tabletop. Right, once we get here, we'll go the other way. So now you're going to take your left hand, reach up to the sky. And then you're going to take those left fingertips dive them underneath your right armpit. Let your right shoulder come all the way down to the ground. The right side of your head come to the ground. Right? And then from there, I said left, I said right, did I say right? I meant left. Your left shoulder should be on the ground, left ear should be on the ground. You're looking to the right. Your right hand can either reach towards the front of the room or it can wrap behind your back. Open up the right shoulder a little bit if you wrap the hand behind your back. You're opening up the right chest to reach it forward. If you want to step out with that right foot, like I said before, that's an option. If that feels great to you, if that's how you love to thread the needle, then I want you to do that. But don't make it too, right? Don't make it too much effort. We want to find the ease in yin, the ease of the pose, the sukha. It's a Sanskrit word for ease. It comes from the same word as wheel, right? It means like the wheel, grooving. That's sukha. Find that sukha, that ease in all these poses. There might be some sensation. There might be some challenge. But there's ease in holding them, hanging out there. Ready to come up. This pose, same thing, right? We pull that right arm back by the face, step the right foot in. If you stepped it out, push into the mat. With your right hand, take that left hand up to the sky, open back up, and then drop it all the way down. All right, now from here, right, I'm gonna turn sideways at the beginning here to show you your options here, right? So we're here in tabletop. Now, if you want to add a little bit of a toe stretch to these next sequence, you can tuck your toes under. So it looks like this, right? And we're going to sit back on our heels. Now for this first part, you have the choice. You can be in low kneel, which looks like this, or you can be in high kneel, that looks like this, right? If you don't love tucking the toes under, you can always flatten your feet. High kneel, low kneel, right? So you decide. We were talking about plantar fasciitis earlier, right? This is good for that. You suffer from that, right? Tucking your toes under is a good way to stretch out those muscles and make it less painful, less sensational for you, right? So you can be here, you can be here. Okay? All we're gonna do at first, whether you're tucking your toes or your feet are flat, whether you're in high kneel or low kneel, you're gonna take your hands, sweep them up to the sky, right? And interlace your hands together overhead. Push your palms up towards the ceiling. Now, as you exhale, push them straight in front of you. So your palms come towards the front of your mat, tuck your chin to your chest, like you're trying to push your arms straight out of the socket. Really feel that stretch. Then bring your hands back up to the sky. Right? Do that twice more. Forward. Take them up. Take them forward. Do one more time. Let's take them all the way forward, tucking the chin. Let's take it all the way up. And then from there, release your hands, let them come to your sides, right? Now here, everybody's gonna come up into high kneel, right? I'm gonna turn sideways. So I'm in high kneel with my toes tucked, right? If you can be there, be there. If you really need to flatten your feet, right? So I'm gonna talk about this. Actually, here, I'm gonna turn this way at first so you guys can see what I'm talking about, all right? So, I'm in high kneel, my toes are tucked. If your feet are flat, that's fine. Take your hands up to the sky here. And then, as you exhale, you're gonna twist to the right. Sweep your right hand back behind you. Reach your left hand in front. All right, so we're twisting to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Just gonna hold here. 5 breaths. Really open your arms up like you're trying to take them as far apart as you can. Now from here, start to lean back. You're gonna bring your right fingertips to your right heel. Reach the left hand up and over. Right now, that's really easy to do if you've got your toes tucked. If you've got your feet flat and you can still reach your heel, great, go for it, right? If you can't reach your heel and you don't want to tuck your toes, or if you even got your toes tucked and you still can't reach your heel, just take your right elbow, bend into it, point it towards the back of the mat, put your right hand right on your low back, and keep reaching back with your left hand so you look like this, right? So you can be here, or you can be here. We're going to take 5 more breaths. From here, take that left hand, right? Bring it around, bring it straight up, and then you're gonna drop it back behind you, right? So we're gonna stay here in this full camel. So if you can come back and reach your heels with both hands, which I cannot do tonight. Some days, yes, tonight, no, right? You can take your hands, put your hands in the small of your back, okay, both hands in the small of your back, pull your elbows together, pull your shoulder blades together, push your hips forward and take your chest and your gaze up towards the sky, right? So you're in that camel. Like I said, if you can reach your heels, with your toes tucked or not tucked, go for it. And otherwise, we're right here. 3 more breaths. Now, from wherever you are, right, you're going to take your right hand, lift it up to the sky, right? So your left hand either stays on your low back with that elbow pointed towards the back of the room, or you drop that left hand to your left heel. So now we're in that same position where we were on the other side. Left hand's reaching towards the left heel, right hand's reaching up and over your left shoulder. Hold here for 5 breaths. All right, now, rise up. Now you're just gonna reach your right hand forward. Take your left hand, reach it back behind you. So now we're in that open arm twist to the left. All right, now unwind here. Take both hands up to the sky. Right. Now you're going to untuck your toes. Right? Maybe a little patty cake. It's hard when we're still in this high kneel. That's okay. Right? There we go. And then from there, just sink down into low kneel as much as you can. Right? If your low kneel is not for you, stay up in high kneel. It's okay. You don't have to stay here forever. Right? We're just coming down to that low kneel. Now, what I want you to do from here, let your hands relax down. And just let both hips fall over to the right. So we're going to end up basically in this, like, I call it the mermaid position, right? Because it's kind of like deer. Imagine it's like deer, except you're not pulling that left knee all the way back till it's against your right foot, right? It's kind of stacked on top of your right foot, right? Now, take your right hand, bring it down by your right hip. Take your left hand up to the sky, and then just lean, reach those left fingertips over. Now see how that feels. I'm gonna come here a little bit just so we're square to the camera. See what's going on with me. Now if you want to here, right, as you're reaching over, maybe you take that right forearm and you drop it all the way down. I want you to keep your chest spinning open towards the sky, right? Don't come down here. Right. If you have a block, maybe use the block, right? Your elbow can land on the block, or your hand can land on the block, right? Or you don't use the block at all, you've got your palm down or your elbow down, right? Lots of different variations. But think about that left shoulder. It's peeling up and open. You're looking at the ceiling. Now, this is a lot of work, maybe, in your left hand, so I'm not going to make you stay here for a really long time. 4 more breaths. All right, now we're going to come all the way up. So press into your right hand, come back up to your right palm. Right, take your hands up, reach high, and then let them relax down, right? Now, you're gonna come back up, right? So we're gonna come up. Maybe we'll just come up through, instead of going back to low kneel, obviously. We're just gonna come here, this hook line position, so your feet are on the ground. And then, but you want your feet nice and close together, right? Don't have your feet wide. Bring them nice and close together in this hook line position. And then just drop your legs over to the left, right? So, it's like I said, I call it the mermaid position. It's kind of like your mermaid with your little tail going out. It's not like deer, where you pull that right knee back, right? This would be deer if I pulled the right knee all the way back and put it against my left foot. It's stacked on top of my left shin. Again, I'm moving over just so I stay on camera. Now, you're gonna take your left hand, bring it down, take your right hand up to the sky, reach your right fingertips towards the left side of the room. Wherever you are, whether you're using the block, if you're on your elbow or your palm, right, think about that right shoulder spinning up. Look up, right? So your chest is kind of spiraling open towards the ceiling. Maybe they are doing self-defense over there. Who knows? More breath. All right, and then come all the way up. All right, now, you're going to let your hands go. Bring your hands back behind you. So you can bring your legs up. Now, as your legs come up here, I want you to take them out super wide. Right? Back here a little bit so you guys can keep seeing me. All right, so my legs are as wide as they possibly can be. My legs are going wider. I'm just moving further back so you can still see my feet. Sort of. Right? So we're here in this super wide stance. Now, I want you to take your right hand to your right thigh, right? And you're sort of slide that right hand down your right thigh, reaching it towards your right toes. So maybe you can slide down low enough, you can grab onto your right toes, right? Move your hands just here on your ankle, your shin, or your knee. It's all good either way. Now here, you take your left hand and you reach it up to the sky. Like we just did, that left arm's gonna start to reach across, right? If I had ideal flexibility, I have my right hand on my right toes and my left hand would reach so far over and my chest would open up so much that my left fingertips would come on top of my right. Obviously, I can't do that without bringing my arm in front of my face. That's why you can't see my face right now, right? So I can hang out here, and this is all good. If this feels good to you, stay right here. If it feels too yang on your left hand to have it hanging out in space, maybe you take your left hand and wrap it around behind your back, right? You're still peeling open with that left shoulder. You're still taking your gaze up over your left shoulder. Spiraling the chest open. We're just not reaching with the left hand. Okay, because we're going to stay here a little longer. We're going to stay here for another minute or so. 2 more breaths. Slowly peel all the way up. All right, now we're going to do that same thing going the other way. So you're going to take your left hand to your left thigh, right, and just start to lean to the left. So as you lean to the left, right, your chest is still spiraling open up towards the ceiling, up to the right. And so you can just slide your left hand along that left shin, right? Maybe you can get it so you can reach your toes. If you don't get that far, it's okay. You're on your ankle, you're on your shin, you're on your knee, as long as far as you can slide your hand. And that right hand reaches up and over, right? Everybody should do that at first, just to see how it feels. Maybe it's better on this side. Maybe it's worse. For me, it's worse. Okay? This is about as good as I get. Even this is probably not that good. I should probably be more like here, right? Because I'm trying to open my chest up and let it spiral. So this is good. Whether you've reached the toes, or you've just got that right hand hanging out in space, and stay right there. If you want to take your right hand instead and wrap it behind your back and peel that right shoulder open, then go for it. You're going to look up over your right shoulder and keep your chest spiraling open. Got 4 more breaths here. And we're slowly make our way all the way back up. All right, so keep your legs out nice and wide. Now just bring your hands right in front of you, right? So they're just in the middle of your legs. You're going to walk yourself out. Just do a wide forward fold here. Should feel good after everything else we just did. Don't tuck your chin to your chest. Don't try to round your back. Just bring your chest as far forward as it wants to go. Right? You can use a block if you have one. The block can go underneath your hands. That lets you walk a little bit further forward while still keeping that connection with the earth without having to round, right? Maybe you want that. Sometimes if I'm having a good day with my back and I can come far forward enough that I can get my forehead down to the block when the block's at the highest level, right? And then my head can rest on the block. It's okay if you can't reach the block, right? Maybe you can reach the block with the block at its lowest level. That's you, go for it. Maybe you can lay your forehead down on this mat without using a block. Right? If you can do that, you should. Right? But it's not the goal. The goal is not to get the crown of your head down to the mat. I don't want to tuck my chin, try to dive forward, right? I'm just bringing my chest as far forward as I can. Let my spine stay long and lengthened. You can feel this right through the inner thighs. Feeling that, you're doing it right. Maybe you start to feel it a little bit in the back. You want to keep your hips on the ground, right? So don't pull yourself so far forward that your hips start to lift. And don't let your knees and your toes fall out to the sides. You want to keep them up to the sky. That's what keeps the inner thighs engaged, so that you get that opening in. slowly start to make your way back up here, right? And then we're going to bring our legs together. We're going to bend into your knees. We're going to lay down on our back, right, and finish up with our last two poses here on the back. So take your feet to the top of your mat. Right? You're going to take your arms out long. Just let yourself round down. So you're laying here on your back. Now, what I want us to do here is a little fish pose. Now, you have lots of options here, right? You can take the block, right, if you have a block. Put it right between, you want to lay back so that the block comes right between your shoulder blades. Hopefully, I'm just going to translate my camera, right, as I'm laying down. So, the blocks can come right between my shoulder blades. It's not in my low back, right? It's between, it's up. But it's not in my head either, so my head comes back and goes to the ground. So I'm looking back behind me. It's a supported fish. Right? And then your shoulders start to open, your sinuses start to drain. It's so good for us. You can do whatever you want with your legs. Mine are straight right now. Maybe you bend into them. Maybe you take them to a butterfly. Right? It's all about the back. Now, if you don't have a block, right, then you're just going to do a regular fish pose. Right? In your regular fish pose, you're here. You're going to tuck your hands underneath your body so that your thumbs are just at your low back and your fingertips are pointed toward your glutes. And then from there, right, it's long, you're going to squeeze your elbows together. You're kind of propping yourself up on your elbows and then letting your head fall back. So your elbows are doing what the block is doing if you have the block. Right? So you can be in fish or supported fish. It's good for us. Helps the sinuses drain, right? Because you're tilting your head back in that way. The way that we don't usually walk around with our heads tilted. And it's the perfect drainage position for your sinuses. When you have your head, I'll mess it up, have your head tilted back, get your chin up to the sky. So if that feels good to you, that doesn't feel good to you. It doesn't feel good, but it drains the sinuses the way that we need. Help ward off maybe catching whatever cold or say virus is going around, right? That's what we all want. Also opening at the back, the chest, the heart center. That's why it feels so great. I'm in the pose, I want to stay here. I'm trying to check my watch. We're going to take about 5 more breaths. So when you're ready to come out of this, right, straighten your legs if they're not already. Right, you're going to just kind of roll to one side if you're on the block. So you roll off the block, put your hands under there, just going to swivel your hips and your hands drop. And now you're here, flat on your back. All right, so once we're here flat on the back, you're going to take your knees, hug them into your chest. All right, we're just going to do a single knee twist each way to finish off. So keep your right knee hugged all the way in. Let your left leg go long. And then let your right arm go out like a T, right? So my fingertips are coming straight under my shoulder blade. I'm going to take my left hand to the outside of my right knee and just twist to the left. So my left hand's pressing down that knee. If it gets down to the ground, that's great. If it doesn't, that's okay. I like to rest my left foot on my right thigh, right? If you want to kick yours forward and get it to the ground, right? Do that. But keep your right shoulder anchored. That's just giving you the twist. Take your gaze to the right. Just take about 5 breaths here. From here, bring that right knee back up. straight on here. Now you're gonna have both knees back into your chest and pull that left leg in. Both knees are into your chest. Now let's go the other way. Just extend your right leg long. The left knee comes all the way in. Take your left arm straight out of your shoulder blade. Take your right hand outside your left knee. Now I don't want to lean over to the right side of your body. Take your chin, your gaze over your left shoulder. Now from there, bring your left knee back to center. Give both knees a little hug into your chest here. Let's now set up for our final pose, our Shavasana. We'll take our last 2 minutes here. You can extend your legs long. You're laying down on your back. Hands at your sides, right? That's your traditional Shavasana, flat on your back. Especially in Yin, if that's not what's comfortable to you, you don't need to stay there. You can bend your knees, butterfly your legs. You can go to any of the poses that we did tonight if you really like them. Roll to your belly again. You can come to your side. You can sit up if you need to. Just find somewhere to be where you're nice and comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay perfectly still, somewhere where you're going to be able to allow your mind to go perfectly quiet. Round. I found the sea salt. So we're going to use that, right? I've got the sea salt spray. You can put on your towel if you want. Your towel's on. If you're at home and you have a towel, put it over your eyes. I can't spray it for you. I wish I could. If you don't have a towel, just close your eyes. Take that focus back to your breath, like we did at the beginning. Allow your breath to guide you. Take you right to that place. There's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. That's your true quiet of the mind. That's where you want to be. slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, you can take your arms overhead, do a nice full, deep body stretch. And then from there, just roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths there just to reacclimate to our space. Let the sights and the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. And when you're ready, only when you're ready, close yourself up to seated. And we will close here. So let's close with our two Bhamari breaths and then an Om. The Bhamari breath, we inhale. As we exhale, make that little humming sound in the back of our throat. Right, the Om is the universal syllable. It uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths, or you can just listen. Let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this evening. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right, I'll see you guys all again on Saturday. You'll have a great rest of your week. Angie's going to be here tomorrow with a little more yin yang if you want to come join her. And Liza will be here on Friday with some Pilates bar. So I will see you guys Saturday. Hope you have a great night.